So, Trainer Avery here. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'll be guiding you through this yoga practice this morning. If you haven't already, come to a comfortable space on your back. Onto the mat, we're just going to begin lying down in corpse pose. Let your arms and legs fall out comfortably. You can adjust the seat if you need to. Let your palms roll up toward the ceiling. And start to relax the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe naturally in and out through the nose. And relax your jaw. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Start to draw awareness to your breath. And we'll bring the left hand to rest over the chest and the right hand to rest over your belly. Close your eyes and continue to breathe, but this time notice how the breath moves in and out of the body. Feel the chest and belly rise on the inhale as they fill with air. And feel your belly and chest fall as you exhale. And here we'll begin to cultivate our Ujjayi breath, or ocean sounding breath. So begin to swirl the air around in the back of the throat as you breathe. So it almost becomes slightly audible, making that ocean sound. And you don't want to force the breath. Continue to breathe naturally, slowly deepening the breath. Let the muscles of the face relax. Let the muscles in your feet relax. Notice the muscles in your feet. They do a lot for us all day long. We hold a lot of tension in our feet and our hands. Try to relax those muscles. And if you notice your mind start to wander throughout the practice, just bring yourself back to the breath, back to the mat. On your next inhale, reach your arms overhead and stretch your toes toward the opposite wall. Start to wiggle the fingertips and toes, a nice big morning stretch. Maybe you take a few circles with the wrists and ankles here. And then we're gonna hug both knees into the chest, wrapping the arms around, giving ourselves a big hug. And really sink into this pose. Let the lower back fall to the mat. Maybe do a few hip circles side to side. Continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. From here, we'll do some hip circles. Start to the right in one direction. Tiny little circles with the hips. You might feel a little massage in the low back. And when you're ready, take those circles in the other direction. And know that throughout practice, whenever you need to, you can pause, come to child's pose or a comfortable seat, whatever feels good for you. We'll come back to center, pause for a moment, find stillness, take a breath. You can let the eyes fall open. We're gonna come into happy baby pose, reaching for the outside edges of the feet. You can let the hips open and the knees bend toward the underarms. Let the lower back fall into the mat. You can rock side to side, really cultivating a sense of playfulness and ease here. Maybe even let the top corners of your mouth curl up into a smile. Draw the crown of the head toward the back wall. Lengthen through the spine, opening through the hips. Inhale, hug both knees back to center. And draw the right knee in, let the left leg fall down toward the mat. Draw the right knee up and over toward the underarm, opening up the hip toward the right. Take a breath, notice how that feels on the hip. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bring the left hand to the outside of the right knee and twist, opening up the right arm. And maybe even looking over that opposite shoulder. Let that right shoulder get heavy toward the mat as you sink a little deeper into that spinal twist. Only go so far as you feel comfortable. Those spots where you feel that extra tension, try to send the breath there on the inhale. And release that tension on the exhale. Inhale, take both knees back to center, hug them into the chest one more time. Rock side to side a little bit. And then we're gonna come back into our happy baby one more time. Reach for the outside edges of those feet. Let the knees fall down toward the underarms, open up the hips. Close the eyes and come back to the breath. Hug both knees back to center. This time we're gonna hug the left knee into the chest. Let the right leg fall down to the mat. Draw the left knee up and over toward the left underarm, opening up that hip to the side. On your next inhale, come back to center with the knee, and then exhale, draw the right knee to the outside, or right hand to the outside of the left knee. Exhale, twist. Pressing the knee toward the mat, extending the left arm out to the side. And sink into the twist. Lengthen the spine on the inhale and sink a little deeper on that exhale. Let the left shoulder fall heavy toward the mat. We'll take a couple more rounds of breath here. On your next inhale, bring both knees back to center, hug them into the chest. One more time. And then let both legs float up from the hips. Maybe shake those hips out a little bit. Roll out that lumbar spine. And from here, I'm going to take my left leg to cross over my right, crossing right at my knees so they're nice and tight. And then I'm going to hug my knees in toward my chest, reaching for the outside of my ankles or shins. And then letting the ankles melt down toward the mat. Reclined Gomukhasana. Low back is melting into the floor. Crown of the head reaching toward the back of the room. Maybe take some ankle circles here. Do some twists. Spread out the toes. Maintaining that deep ocean sounding breath in and out through the nose. Inhale, release the twist. Bring both legs back up to float over the hips. And we'll take that same pose on the opposite side, bringing the right leg to cross over the left. Melting the ankles down toward the mat, reaching for the outside ankles or shins. And relax into the pose. Feel that right outer hip opening up. And try to sink a little deeper with each round of breath. Option again to take those ankle circles. Notice how that feels. On your next inhale, release that twist. Bring the legs back to float over the hips. From here, I want you to send the arms up as well to float right over the shoulders. And I really want you to relax the weight into your back and let the limbs just float weightlessly. Start to float the legs around in space, like they're floating through water. Relax the jaw. Find stillness with the legs, and then do the same thing with the arms. Let them float around. And both together. Like seaweed in the ocean, just let them float weightlessly. On your next inhale, draw both feet together, reaching for the toes. We're gonna extend the right leg down toward the mat, holding on for either the knee, the calf, or the ankle, whatever is comfortable, stretching out the back side of that left leg. You can keep a soft bend in the knee. Maybe try to draw the leg a little closer to the chest on the exhale. On your next inhale, sweep the right leg up to meet the left, and then let the left leg fall down toward the mat, stretching out the back side of the right leg. On your next inhale, sweep the left leg up to meet the right. And we're going to cross at the ankles and shins. Start to rock yourself back and forth on the spine until you comfortably come up to a seat. I'm going to turn to face you. You can choose to stay at the top of the mat if you'd like. Come to a comfortable position, crossing at the ankles or shins. Easy pose. Hands facing up toward the ceiling. Close the eyes and come back to the breath. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Sit tall, draw the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. And breathe deeply in and out through the nose. Let the body become heavy. Feeling a sense of gratitude for coming to your mat today, for your devotion to staying strong and healthy for yourself and for those you love. If you have any intention you would like to cultivate throughout your practice today, keep that in mind as we continue to flow. It could be a mantra or just a simple word like compassion, gratitude, or strength. You can let the eyes fall open. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Do a few rounds of breath here. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, draw the hands to heart. On your next exhale, pause, hands to heart center. And we'll inhale, send the arms straight up overhead, and exhale, open the arms, sink into a twist to the right. Looking over your right shoulder, left hand is on the outside of my right hip. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, sink a little deeper into that twist. Inhale back to center, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do that once more. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left this time. Opening up the arms, twisting, looking over that left shoulder. Again, we want to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Take a few rounds of breath here. You're all doing beautifully. Remember that your practice is your own, so choose to do whatever feels good for you in the moment, whenever you need to. If we take any poses that do not feel comfortable for you, you can always choose to take a child's pose. Inhale, release from that twist. Come back to center. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Take a few rounds of breath. Notice how the spine feels after that round of twists. All right, you can let the eyes fall open. From here, we're going to come into a tabletop position. Knees are going to be right beneath my hips. Toes are tucked. Wrists are right beneath the shoulders. I have a nice flat back. We're just going to do some little hips side to side. And then maybe do some circles going one direction. And take it the opposite direction. Rolling out the hips. Now I'm going to turn to face you. From here, we're going to do some wrist stretches, excuse me. One hand at a time, I'm going to take the fingertips up and back and let the palm fall down toward the mat. Just go as deep as is comfortable for you. If you're like, oh, that's enough, you can stay there. Or if you'd like to go a little deeper, you can start to rock a little bit back and forth. Sending the hips back and front. If you chose to rock back and forth, come back to center, find stillness, and we'll release that palm back to center. Maybe do some circles, shake it out a bit. And then we'll do that same thing on the other side. Take the left hand, bring the fingertips back toward the knee. Under forearm should be facing the front. If that feels deep enough, you can stay there and just breathe into that stretch, or you can start to rock back and forth. Inhale, send the hips back. Exhale, rock forward. Do a couple more rounds of breath here. Back to center and release the fingertips back to the front of the room. Maybe do some circles again, shake it out. And back to that right side. I want you to this time take the fingertips down and scooch them right underneath the wrist. And if you say, well, that's enough, that feels good, you can stay there, or again, you can choose to rock back a little bit, go a little deeper into that stretch. So this time, my fingertips are facing back toward my knees. And continue to breathe. Always breathing with the movement in yoga. Your breath is the rhythm for your practice. Always come back to that if you feel yourself start to wander away from your mat. You can bring up the right hand back to center, and we'll do the same thing on the left. Bringing fingertips down, scooching the palm right underneath the wrist. Again, you can choose to take that rock back and forth to go a little deeper. Inhale, take the fingertips back to the front. And we're going to do a few rounds of cat-cow here. So I'm going to inhale, let the belly melt down toward the floor, arch my back, look up toward the ceiling. Exhale, round my back, tuck my tailbone, press the hands into the mat. Inhale, arch the back, let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Exhale, round the back. Keep that up with your own breath. On the next inhale, come back to center tabletop. And we're going to come into puppy dog pose. So you're going to let your hips fall back a bit and let the chest melt down toward the mat. Curl the fingertips forward. You can let the chin or the forehead fall on the mat, whatever is comfortable. Maybe wag your tailbone around a little bit. Inhale, rise the chest up back to tabletop. I'm going to bring the left hand slightly more towards center. Inhale, bring the right arm up toward the ceiling, open up the chest, bring the fingertips wide. Feel a twist in the upper back. Take an inhale on the next exhale, thread the right arm through the left, bringing the right shoulder down toward the mat. You can leave the left arm down on the mat for support, or you can choose to take a bind, reaching the left arm up and around the low back, finding that right hip crease. Draw the right hip back and left hip forward. If you took a bind, release that arm back down to the mat and press yourself slowly back up to tabletop position, releasing that right arm. Wave the hips around a little bit. We'll do a few rounds of cat-cow here, so inhale, arching the back, tailbone up toward the sky. Exhale, round the back, tuck that tailbone under, press the hands into the mat. Keep that up with your own breath. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale back to center. This time we'll bring the right hand slightly more towards center. Opening the left arm up toward the sky, opening up the chest. Take a breath. Inhale, reach the fingertips a little higher, and then exhale, sweep that arm through, threading the left shoulder down toward the mat. You can choose to stay here with the right arm, or option to go a little deeper with that bind, reaching up and around. Fingertips for that left hip crease. And enjoy the twist. Breathe into it. Twists are very good for detoxing, which I think we all need a little bit of right now. Take a couple more rounds of breath. If you chose to take the bind, release that arm back down toward the mat. On the next inhale, press yourself back up, slowly releasing that arm to a tabletop position. And one more time, we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back. Open the heart. Exhale, round the back. When you feel ready, open the knees, bring the big toes to touch behind you, and come into a child's pose, melting the chest down toward the mat. Draw the fingertips forward. Let the forehead rest down on the mat, and take a few rounds of breath here. Bringing your awareness back to your Ujjayi breath, that ocean-sounding breath. Swirling it around in the back of your throat. Feeling the belly fill with air as you inhale. And feeling those abdominal muscles contract as you exhale. Take a deep inhale. And a big open mouth exhale, let it all out. One more time, deep inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. And we'll do that one more time, deep inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. When you're ready, you're gonna send your hips up, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Our first down dog in the morning. Maybe you pedal the heels out a little bit. Maybe you roll those toes around. Really get comfortable here, sending the tailbone up toward the sky and drawing the heels down toward the mat. Stay strong through the shoulders. Relax through the neck. Inhale, look up toward the hands, bend the knees. Exhale, walk the feet toward the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head toward the front of the room. Exhale, fold over those legs. Reach for the outer corner of both elbows. And come into ragdoll. Just let yourself hang. The chest can even fall over the thighs. You can rock back and forth a little bit. Feel the decompression of the spine. Let the head get heavy. Maybe shake your head yes and no. Inhale, step the feet together, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly roll up to standing. And come to Tadasana, mountain pose, palms facing forward. Just so you can see me. From here, we're going to do a few shoulder rolls. Roll the shoulders up and to the front. And then take it to the back. Open up the chest. Roll those shoulders back. Ooh. Come back to center. From here, we're going to take the right hand, reaching up for the left side of the head, and gently pull down toward that opposite shoulder. If that feels deep enough, you can stay here, or option to take that left arm and bind around the back, reaching for that right hand. If you chose to take that bind, release the arm. And on the next inhale, release that right arm, slowly push that head back up to center. Do a few more shoulder rolls. Shake it out. All right, now we'll do that same thing on the other side. So take the left palm up and over to the right side of your head and gently pull the left ear down toward the left shoulder. Option to take that bind, sweeping the right arm around, reaching for that left hip. Notice any really tight or sticky spots in there. Breathe into that. Try to release that tension. If you chose to take the bind, release the arm. On the next inhale, release the head and slowly come back to center. And we'll do a few more shoulder rolls. On the next inhale, sweep the arms open wide. And then exhale, give yourself a big hug, stacking the right elbow over the left. Crawling the fingertips back onto the shoulder blades, opening up those scapula. And take a few rounds of breath here. On the next inhale, sweep the arms open and switch sides, bringing that opposite elbow to stack on top. And again, crawling those fingertips back. Give yourself a big hug. Come back to the breath. Inhale, sweep the arms open. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a breath. I'll come back to the top of my mat. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, fold. You can reach the hand to the back of the ankles to get a little deeper into that fold. Inhale, halfway lift, crown the head toward the front of the room. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step or walk back to a high plank. Shoulders are right over the wrists. Drawing back in those heels. Belly button toward the spine, tailbone tucked under. Get strong through the shoulders. Press the hands into the mat. Take a few rounds of breath. On the next exhale, bring the knees down toward the mat, untuck the toes. Inhale, send the elbows back, let the chest fall to the floor. Draw the chest up, low cobra. And send the hips up for downward facing dog. Take a few open mouth exhales here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, sweep the right leg high, toes are pointing down toward the mat. Exhale, step the right foot to meet the right thumb, and let the left knee fall down toward the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, open up the chest, arch the upper back. You can leave the arms overhead, or you could take cactus arms, draw the elbows out to the side, squeeze the shoulder blades. Fingertips spread wide. Inhale, arms overhead, straighten the right leg. Exhale, bend the right knee back into that lunge. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sink back into that lunge. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sink in. 2 more rounds. On the next inhale, sit back onto the left heel, straightening the right leg, flexing the foot, stretching out the backside right leg. You can let the chest melt down toward the knee. Go just as far as you can comfortably. Encourage the right hip back toward the back wall. And breathe. On the next inhale, rock the hips forward back into our low lunge one more time. Exhale, place the hands outside of the foot, send the hips up, downward facing dog. Take a couple rounds of breath here. Maybe shake the hips out, pedal out the heels. Inhale, send the left leg high. Exhale, sweep the left foot to meet the left thumb. And let the right knee fall down toward the mat. Untuck the toes. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Sink into that right hip. Open up the heart here. Draw the shoulders back. Option to take cactus arms. Draw the elbows down and wide. Inhale, straighten the front leg, get tall. Exhale, sink back into that lunge. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the left knee, sink into the lunge. Keep that up. We'll do a few rounds of breath here. Beautiful. On the next inhale, send the hips back, straighten out the left leg, flex the foot, and let the chest mount down for a hamstring stretch. Draw the left hip back just a little more. Inhale, rise, bend that left knee, sink into our lunge, open up the arms. Exhale, place both hands back down to the mat, sweep the left leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look toward the hands, bend the knees, and bring the left leg up for pigeon pose. Getting the left shin parallel with the front of the mat. If you're here and that's as far as you can comfortably go, that's okay. Or you can choose to scooch that foot forward a little bit, opening up those hips even more. Here I want to encourage my right hip down toward the mat. Tented the fingertips, I'll sit tall, take a couple rounds of breath. Take a big inhale and exhale, start to crawl the fingertips forward, folding over that front leg. You can let the forehead rest on the forearms or the mat, whatever's comfortable, and really breathe into it. Sink into this stretch. We'll take several rounds of breath here. Start to rise the chest up from the mat. On the next inhale, sweep the left leg back into high plank. Take a round of breath here. And sweep the right leg through to do pigeon on the other side. Crown of the head toward the ceiling, sit tall. you're ready, exhale, fold over the front leg, melting down toward the mat. We'll stay here for a few breaths. On the next inhale, rise. Sweep the right leg back to high plank. Send the hips up for downward facing dog. Take a round of breath. Walk the feet to meet the hands and come down to the mat, onto your back. Going to do a cooling posture here. I want you to start by lifting the hips, tucking the shoulders underneath and the elbows close. Place the hands on the low back and send the legs up, drawing the elbows in toward the center. You want to relax your chin away from your chest. You should feel a slight constriction in the breath. And just let the legs hang. Slowly roll the hips back down to the mat. Plant the feet, send the hips up. Exhale, melt back down. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock a bit side to side. Feel free to take any other movements that feel good at this time. And when you're ready, you can come into Savasana, relaxing onto the mat for our final pose. Let the eyes fall closed. Focus on the breath. And I have a short reading that I would like to share with all of you today. Find stillness. Breathe naturally in and out through the nose. And just listen to the words. It does not interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It does not interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It does not interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you have touched the center of your own sorrow, if you have been opened by life's betrayals or have become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own, if you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and toes without cautioning us to be careful, be realistic, remember the limitations of being human. It does not interest me if the story you are telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself. If you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul. If you can be faithless and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty even when it is not pretty every day. And if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand at the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon, yes. It does not interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It does not interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It does not interest me where or what or with whom you have studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else fades away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. Take a deep breath. Start to wiggle around the fingers and toes. When you're ready, slowly rock to the fetal position on the right side, pushing the head with the forearm. Soaking in everything you did for your body and mind in today's practice. When you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, everyone. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Namaste. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And you guys can stick around and chat if you want.